Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. It is March 23rd. It is the first day of our second week of our school closures. And I just wanted to check in and touch base with you just to let you know that right now I'm working on some what I think are going to be some great lessons that will be helpful for you as we move forward with this distance learning. I'm really hoping, though, that taking this time now allows us to help flatten the curve with COVID-19. And if we're not back next week, I'm looking forward to being back after spring break. So what I'm going to do is just take a few minutes. I want to go back through Schoology, show you the optional assignments, talk about each thing just a little bit, and just give you a couple of updates because I added some things to the Schoology course. One thing that I do need is I would love some help from you. I know that not all of the Justice League students necessarily check in on their technology often, and I know that some are working diligently on these optional activities, and I know that some know that the optional activities are there but aren't necessarily doing anything with it. So I could use some help. I need to know if anyone knows of any students who don't have access to technology, or maybe they have just a short amount of time where they get to use their phones, and doing something like this is difficult for them to do the online learning piece. That's one thing I'm struggling with right now, is how do I help the kids who don't have access to the technology? Not those of you who don't like to do work on your Chromebooks, but I mean there are some folks who don't have access to do the work on their Chromebook. So I could use any help that you can possibly give me on that. So I'm just going to minimize my video window so I'm down here in the bottom corner, and I want to go through Schoology with you. So what I did with the Schoology course is everything is here, and I'm going to come back to these links in just a minute. I want to focus on the optional work folder. All of these morning videos I'm putting in this folder right here so that you're welcome to go back and take a look if you want to. You'll always find them right here. But I want to talk about some of these assignments. So writing an email, I asked you to think about opening the following link and reading this anatomy of a good email section in this on this webpage, in this blog. And I will tell you that this is going to come back as an assignment when we're doing our distance learning. It won't be this exact one. So if anything, even if you don't do the activity for this optional learning, I really think it would be helpful for you to just take a couple of minutes and read the anatomy of a good email section at this link. The second thing, just this one day at a time, I want you to be thinking about what are you doing in this time? How are you spending this time? And just being mindful every day to put something in here. And there are quite a few students who have been working on their Google Doc and they've just been adding something. And this kind of activity is something that we'll be doing in a different document for our distance learning. So again, this is a practice thing that you could be doing. Newsy LA. There's been some confusion about Newsy LA. Here's what I want you to do, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to do your best. If you're not sure about annotating something, annotate what you think you can annotate. As long as you have something annotated. I know there's some confusion about what you annotate in blue and red and yellow. The idea is, are you reading these nonfiction articles and are you showing your thinking with the text? That's what I'm looking for. And again, keeping in mind, this is optional. No red ink, commonly confused words. This we will be coming back to also in our distance learning. And I'm going to focus less on the grammar and more on the vocabulary pieces, because I think that's something that you're going to benefit more from than is this comma in the right place, or when do you use a semicolon. The movie and chat activity, where I'm asking you to watch a movie. Hopefully some of you have been able to do that. And then putting your information in the discussion as I asked you to do. This piece There's something connected to this a little bit different that we will be doing with our distance learning. And then the same with the This I Believe podcast, where actually I'm going to be bringing back some of those active listening strategies with this podcast along with the other readings that we're doing. So maybe you should be at least thinking about practicing just the listening piece over these next 5 days. When we go back into just the main English course, you're going to see here's a bunch of virtual field trips. You want to be on the internet and you want to go out and observe and walk through and look at some national parks. These are here for you. Just a different way of looking at the world. I also put a link in here to Audible stories, and this is actually really awesome on the part of Audible. And this actually is a nice listening or teaching tool here. If you get this refuses to connect, use the share sheet and move it out to a new tab. So Audible is making for free the ability for you to stream some of their books from the internet. And all you have to do is go to the site, the link is in Schoology, click on Start Listening, and scroll through the books. There's little listeners, there's elementary, tween, teen, and then there's some different classics. So if you're looking to listen to a story, this is a great place to start. So again, that link is in Schoology. I also have a link to, I'm actually going to come back to this link. Right here, First Chapter Friday. Last Friday, I read the prologue and the first chapter from A Mango-Shaped Space by Wendy Moss, and I recorded it. And so if you want to listen in, that's right here in the First Chapter Friday link. This Friday, I will read First Chapter Friday again, and I haven't decided which book I'm going to pick yet. The last thing I want to talk about is the do's and don'ts from working from home. This article is something that was sent to me by a friend on Facebook, and I thought it tied into what we're doing. Again, the idea is you are working from home. Okay, this is not a time for you to be thinking it's summer vacation and you can put things off until August. As we're doing this taking this time now, it's to help, again, just like 8th grade, build some of those habits so that you can be successful as you're doing this. You should be thinking about structuring your day. So this says working from home, and that is what you're doing. Distance learning, when we start that, if we start that, is working from home. So wake up at your normal time, complete your normal morning routine. Get dressed as if you're headed into the office, if you're headed into school. Okay, don't stay in your jammies all day. Be mindful about nourishment and hydration. Try keeping your lunch consistent. I know some of us have a immediate access to snackages. Just be careful and mindful of what it is that you're eating and why you're eating it. And you should always have some water nearby because water's just good for you. Take regular breaks from looking at your computer screen. I actually have, and I'll be posting it to Instagram a little bit later on. I've set up next to my workstation, I have set up just some general equipment so that I can keep stretching and moving even though I'm sitting at the computer more on these days than I normally do. Keep regular work hours, including breaks. Wrap up your day and check out completely. So at the end of the day, just that's when you can be done with your work and go for a walk, do some exercise. Just don't be sitting and don't get stuck for an extended period of time. You don't have to rush to get everything done in 2 days. And then stay engaged socially. I know this is harder right now with our social distancing, but I want you to imagine what this experience would be like without access to computers and social media and things like that. So stay connected with each other. So when we're back in Schoology, again, this is the work that we're set up for right now. Again, 100% optional. When I'm done recording this video, it will be in this morning videos folder. If you are interested in, towards the end of this week, doing a social Google Meet, um, let me know and I can send out some times to people where it just gives you maybe an opportunity to connect with people that are in your classes that you don't necessarily connect with out on social media. So just want to again say I miss you and I miss us working together. I just it's again an interesting feel to this whole thing. I'm working on some great lessons and I'm looking forward to, even if we can't be face to face in real life, I'm looking forward to some interactions where we're face to face here. And so until I see you again, remember, no shenaniganing, perpetrating evil, wreaking havoc, or purveying mayhem, and please don't forget to come back.